Adam Barr is a Contoso telco executive charged with improving customer profitability. He begins his day by opening the Contoso Communications intranet site and viewing the main dashboard. The homepage dashboard presents multiple performance point server scorecards using a slider web part, indicated over here. The scorecards show organizational performance versus specific internal KPIs. By clicking on the top here, we can slide over to see different scorecards. So Adam's looking at the average revenue per user and average margin per user scorecard. He also reviews the featured KPI and realizes that the average revenue per user is within the ideal range. However, the average margin per user metrics are falling short, as you can see here. Adam also notices the average revenue per user, average margin per user scorecard is displaying values for the central and southern regions below target, right here. He decides to research the issue further by navigating to the customer profitability dashboard. You can easily get to the dashboard from here. Adam notices the profit scorecard also shows issues with the metrics subscribers and cost within the central and southern regions. Adam wants to explore the average margin per user by service type at the lower left corner of the page for the central and southern regions. So he adjusts the filter to show just those regions for central and south. Adam notices the central region in blue is doing better than the southern region in brown. So to gain more insight, Adam decides to change the report view from average margin per user by service type to average margin per user by age group. Noticing the slight differences between the age groups, Adam decides to investigate further using the Visio segmentation report on the right side of the page. Here we can see that in the blue in the circles we have age groups. The larger the circle, the more customers are in those age groups, and then we have retention cost and profitability. Here we're looking at the central region, and then we can take a look at the southern region. Then the eastern region, northern, and western. So while adjusting the report from region to region, Adam notices differences between age group, retention costs, and profitability. As a result of this analysis, Adam concludes that the central and southern regions may have a lower average margin per user because they have fewer subscribers in the more profitable 36 to 45 and 46 to 55 age groups compared to other regions. While this is an interesting lead, Adam wonders if the type of device will provide additional insight into why the central and southern regions have lower AMPU. He decides to utilize a new tool called Pivot to perform this analysis. So to get back to Pivot, we go back to the main page and go to the Pivot tool. So the result is a display showing the distribution of device type across 5 regions. This view is not very informative, so Adam decides to view the distribution of average margin per user instead of region. This view is more interesting. It shows the distribution is heavily weighted towards the lower average margins per user. Since he's interested in why average margin per user may be low in the south and central regions, Adam filters the display to show only data from those regions, central and south. The result is a view of the distribution device type by average margin per user. Here all the ranges of AMPU are shown. Adam wants to zoom into the lower AMPU data, so he filters the display to show the distribution of devices with AMPU less than $2.96. So just use the slider to get us to 296 or somewhere around there. The result is a display of the device distribution at lower AMPU for the south and central regions. Another important metric is churn. Which devices have churn rates above the corporate goal of 2.51%? So we can adjust this here. To over 2.51. Adam can quickly find out by filtering the display according to churn values above the goal. Having isolated a relatively small number of devices that are causing issues, Adam changes the display back to the grid so he can see larger images. The analysis enables Adam to pinpoint specific devices in the central and southern regions which have low AMPU, high churn, and low revenue. This insight will help generate corrective actions to bring these metrics back to corporate goal values. By clicking back in the query bar, Adam discovers these low-margin, high-churn phones in the central and southern regions are associated with the Nationwide Select and Nationwide Plus plan types. And also, the phones that are associated are smart and prepaid. So since Adam also knows these regions contain many leased towers, he sends a request to Jenny to research the impact of third-party tower leasing costs within these data sets using PowerPivot.